When Thomas Gray came back to Weatherby Hollow after 21 years, the village seemed smaller than memory allowed. The road that once wound beneath the elms was cracked and uneven now, swallowed by moss and the whisper of decades. The hollow had aged as all old places do, slowly, stubbornly, and with a certain pride. Yet one thing had not changed: the house on the hill, Harrowgate Manor. It stood there as it always had, its windows dark, its chimneys leaning, its gardens wild and ruinous. The people of Weatherby Hollow still crossed themselves when they passed it, though few remembered why. Some said the house had died the night the Greys left. Others whispered it had never been alive to begin with. Thomas had no choice but to return. The solicitor's letter had been clear. The property was once again his. When he stepped through the iron gates, the air changed. The stillness was heavy, as though the place recognized him and resented it. The key fit perfectly, though the lock had not been used in 2 decades. The door opened with a sound like an exhale. Inside, dust clung to everything. The furniture sat beneath white sheets, ghostly and shapeless. The wallpaper peeled in ribbons. Yet beneath the decay there lingered a faint scent, lavender and smoke, that tugged at something deep within Thomas's mind. He walked through the drawing room, where his mother once played the piano. The instrument was still there, its ivory teeth yellowed and cracked. A single note rang out as he brushed past it. Though he had not touched the keys, he froze. The sound echoed too long, bending unnaturally until it became almost a voice. Thomas. He told himself it was the wind through broken glass. But then came another whisper, nearer now, just behind his ear. Why did you leave us? That night he lit a fire in the study. He tried to read the solicitor's documents by candlelight, but his eyes kept drifting toward the portrait above the hearth. His family. Painted when he was a boy. His father in uniform, his mother in blue silk, and himself between them, smiling awkwardly. Only now the faces were wrong. His father's eyes were too dark, almost black. His mother's smile had thinned, the corners of her mouth drawn down. And where his own painted self should have been, there was only a gray smudge, as if time had rubbed him away. He stared at it for a long time. Then, from somewhere upstairs, a door creaked open. Footsteps, slow, heavy, dragging. They moved along the corridor, paused above him, and then 3 sharp knocks on the floorboards. Knock, knock, knock. He did not move until dawn. 4. The letters in the wall. On the 3rd day, while repairing a section of the dining room wall that had collapsed, Thomas found something stuffed inside the plaster. Letters. Dozens of them. The handwriting was his mother's. The dates spanned years. The years after he had been sent away to school, when his father had gone mad with fever and the manor had closed itself to the world. The last letter read, "They are in the walls now. I hear them whisper through the pipes, see them in the mirrors. He says the house feeds on us, that we are its blood. I can no longer tell which voice is mine. If Thomas ever returns, tell him to bring light. Tell him to bring fire." As he finished reading, a soft voice behind him murmured, "You found me too late." He turned. No one there. Only a faint handprint, wet and small, on the glass of the window. V. The winter gathering. The first snow came that night. It fell thick and soundless, blanketing the gardens and sealing the house from the world. Thomas woke to the crackle of the fire, except the fire had burned out hours ago. Still, the room glowed orange. The light came not from the hearth, but from under the door. He followed it into the hall, where shadows danced along the walls, moving though there was no flame to cast them. Voices murmured from every corner. He descended the stairs, and at the bottom he saw them. His mother, his father, and a dozen others. Faces pale as wax, eyes hollow and shining with the terrible light. They stood in a circle around the old piano. His mother's hands hovered above the keys. "Play for us, Thomas," she said. He backed away, but invisible hands caught his shoulders, pushing him forward. The piano began to play itself. the same song his mother had loved, the winter hymn. And as it played, the house began to breathe. The walls swelled and shuddered, the windows wept condensation. Faces, countless faces, appeared in the mirrors, all watching him. The circle tightened. "Play and stay," his mother whispered. "We've been waiting so long." 6. The fire. He remembered the letter, "Bring light, bring fire." Thomas seized the candle from the hall table and hurled it into the curtains. The fabric caught instantly, flames climbing toward the ceiling. The spirit screamed, not in pain but in fury. The air filled with the stench of burning dust and something older, something human. He ran through the corridors as the house howled around him. The stairs cracked, portraits twisted, doors slammed. Every whisper became a single endless shriek. "You left us!" He reached the front door. It wouldn't open. The brass handle burned his hand. The house would not let him go. So he broke the window with his arm, climbed through the glass, and stumbled into the snow. Behind him, Harrogate Manor burned like a lantern in the night. The flames licked the sky. And for a moment, just before the roof fell, he saw them standing in the window. His parents, still watching. 7th Epilogue. The Ashes. In the spring, they found the ruins. The fire had consumed everything except the foundation. And, oddly, the piano, which sat untouched amid the ash. They said no human remains were found. Yet when the new owner visited the land to rebuild, he swore he heard music in the wind, a faint melody that faded as he approached the hill. And when he turned to leave, he saw in the frost of his car window a small, perfect handprint.